Kira! Roll 40.
March 24th, 2022, Department of Justice releases a document talking about their investigation into some NFT scammers. Today's video, we're going to be looking at the immediate and, in my opinion, hilarious impact that's had on NFT scams in the US. It's only been a week or so and people are already going crazy. So if you're not aware of that document, essentially 4 arms of the US federal government investigated and arrested 2 individuals who'd rug pulled $1.1 million from their NFT investment project. There's a ton of really important information you can glean from the quotes that the heads of the investigation give, as well as the affidavit signed by one of the lead investigators. They go through all the process of how they caught these people and just how easy it is for them. The biggest piece of information relevant to today's video is that the federal government see NFT projects no different from other investments like real estate. If you tell people that you will do X, Y, or Z and then you do not deliver, you are committing wire fraud, and that is a felony that can carry a maximum sentence of 20 years in jail. It shows they are looking at these projects, and my takeaway is that this is the beginning of what will be many more similar arrests. So I will suggest you go watch that video. It's really good, really in-depth, and it will be in the video description. Many people, when I released that in the comment section and also reactions, had doubts that these arrests would be meaningful or that they'd change anything. And also questions were raised about why the government were not investigating and arresting these rich influencers, the sports stars, you know, people with huge social media followings that are engaging in these activities or similar, and instead, you know, targeting 2 nobodies that didn't even perform the biggest scam in comparison to some of the others. So I wanted to make this video to talk about that, as well as what people need to do for these scams to actually be punished, because you have a role in this. It's not just going to happen on its own. And of course, to show that these arrests are already having the intended effect on some scammers, and of course it'll no doubt make a difference going forward. First things first, I've been in contact with sources inside cybercrime investigation units in the US on a federal level, and the information I'd like to pass on from these sources is as follows. They are and will continue to investigate these cases. They, however, do need you to report them with as much information as you possibly can. You can do this by going to the ic3.gov website and filing a complaint if you are a victim or a third party with pertinent information. You should always file a report as well at your local police department. You need to save all information that you can about the alleged fraud, including screenshots of wallets you sent funds to, any methods of communication including screen names, emails, which social media platforms were used, and of course identifiable information such as phone numbers, addresses, names, etc. The sooner you do these things, the easier it's going to be for them to follow up and investigate. These things are time sensitive and there is a lot of evidence required to get anything done, so you need to do your part, you need to report it, and things will happen. Now, as for influencers, I can't answer why these influencers who we're seeing publicly engage in these practices are not the ones being punished first, front and center. I believe that if they were, this would set a bigger example than the smaller fish that aren't using their audiences to perpetuate what I'd consider fraud. I can only speculate at this stage, as can everybody else. I do know that many influencers are not the ones making the projects in many instances. They are instead just promoting them for money under the table as undisclosed advertisements. This is, of course, in my opinion, still aberrant to do. They're using their audience, selling them down the river just to make personal gain, while being multi-millionaires, which is the part that always confuses me. Why are you risking this while you are rich? But that is not the same as making the project from day one and knowing your end goal is to defraud investors. I do know that promoting something you know is a fraud is punishable. We have an example of that already from another one of my recent videos on the $2.4 billion Ponzi scheme called BitConnect, where the feds did punish a promoter of the company who earned $20-odd million in doing so. However, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how serious of an offense it would be to have undisclosed promotion of investment schemes in the US, especially if you don't know they're going to be scams, and what happens when they turn out to be one and you're actually paid behind the scenes. And I don't know if you're actually going to go to jail if you do undisclosed advertisements. I know it's against the FTC guidelines, but I would like to see some examples of what's going on here. And if you are a lawyer who knows anything about this and can provide background on how you came to that information with sources and things like that I can of course verify, feel free to DM me on any socials so I can better understand what's going to be going on in the future, and I can then further inform people on a wider scale. There are, of course,
Jimmy Butler ain't driving.
Directly been involved in the creation of these projects and then the subsequent advertisement using their platforms. And I can't again speculate as to why these aren't the ones being arrested and put in front and center. But again, you do need to send the information to the proper authorities through the proper channels, and maybe we will see it happen. If you're not doing that as someone who has been scammed, you are not contributing what you should be to seeing them punished. I do know as well that case law and precedent is a big factor in the legal world, so maybe this recent development with this investigation will be the powder keg for similar cases, and I will be looking forward to seeing what comes from this and if there are more people being punished, specifically the influencers. That being said, the information of the arrests and the method by which they were carried out with such an in-depth investigation by so many arms of the federal government has already got NFT scammers absolutely fucking shook, including some of our favorites on the channel like Lana Rhodes, who decided to rug pull her fans in late January 2022 for $1.5 million along with her team of scammers. The reason Lana gave for this was that people were being mean to her on social media, so she decided to just take all their money and vanish from the project. Doesn't matter if you were personally mean, one or two other people were, so that means you deserve to get scammed. And then of course she did one of my personal favorite moves when you get caught stealing money from your fans, which is to turn around and say, how dare you talk about me scamming you when Russia is invading Ukraine, you absolute piece of shit. How dare you care about me scamming you? Think of the people in Ukraine. However, one day after this DOJ document surfaced, who'd have guessed, Lana and the team are back on social media. Quote, "We aren't done yet." The most recent communication on the Twitter account prior to that was on January 24th, which was one day after they transferred all the money out the smart contract for the CryptoSys NFT project and decided to just say fuck you and walk off into the sunset 1.5 milli richer. Then of course they're just gaslighting people on social media, acting as if they've never gone anywhere. So they spent the last 9 days trying to speedrun their roadmap from the initial sale so as to make sure they adhere to the Department of Justice very clear messaging that if you promise things are going to happen after you take people's money and then don't do them, you are in fact committing fraud. So, you know, prepare that ass. It honestly makes me so happy, as you can probably tell, to just see these people scrambling so hard after this document surfaced. Now, they even showed themselves moving some of the ill-gotten gains between wallets on March 13th and said, quote, "To clear confusion, since some people just think we came out of nowhere, the royalty money was released about 2 weeks ago, and Lana has been working on the airdrop artwork since. Picture of the funds landing," end quote. Now, I don't know what they mean by royalty money, because why would you need to wait for royalty money until mid-March when you had all the money from OpenSea and dispersed it between 5 different wallets on January 23rd, 2022? They didn't need to wait 2 months to do anything, and I have no idea how they think lying publicly about something that's so easy to prove will result in anything positive for them when their actions clearly show they did in fact scam these people. And it's not just that it's easy to prove for somebody who knows what they're looking for, or law enforcement who, as we've seen, have access to everything. It's that you as a layman watching this video right now, if you know nothing about cryptocurrency, within 10 minutes you could find this transaction of them taking that money and then look at their tweet and just be like, what the fuck are you talking about? They were so blatant about this that OpenSea, the popular NFT platform, the most popular one, even removed their NFTs from the website because they were like, this is a scam, guys. Lana Rhodes then deleted all of her TikToks that was promoting her own NFT project. Pretty weird that, right? She deleted her Twitter, and of course the Discord server for the CryptoSys project was also nuked, as you can see here. It's open again now, but all the channels used to communicate and those that had evidence of the scam have since been deleted, and it just doesn't make sense that if you were legit, you would do this, especially deleting your own promotion of your own project. So how fitting is it that
1 year ago? Alright. Well, the dock's low. Dock! Subs only. What? Oh, it's a replay. 2K24? What? What? Oh.
Nikola Jokic won the Western Conference Finals MVP and notched his NBA record-setting 8th triple-double this postseason. That and the Nuggets series win against the Lakers. After the series sweep, Michael Malone talked about how he doesn't think Jokic gets the MVP consideration he deserves. Imagine Malone taking that stance. Take a listen.
I think he's shown other people nationally that he's real. Like what he's doing is real. The MVPs are real. The triple doubles are real. All the narratives, the silly narratives this year, are just that, silly and somewhat ignorant. And I think Nicola's gone through 3 rounds now, where he's averaging a triple double in the playoffs. Have you seen any stat padding out there? I'm serious. Like enough of the silliness. Like, the guy is a great player. Give him his damn respect.
I love listening to Mike Malone's soapbox takes. Shannon, do you think, though, that he's got a point here?
Well, look, there's this thing when, you know, Joel Embiid and they said this, and there are a lot of criticism. My good friend Mark Jackson left Nikola Jokic off his entire ballot.
He did, but then he said it was by accident, right? That he just blanked out.
He just blanked it out, yeah. Skip, look, I've been, you know what I think of it.
Yeah.
So, and I just couldn't understand. And I agree, there are people like, well, he's the worst MVP back-to-back. What? How do you be the worst MVP? I mean, that's like, man, he the poorest billionaire. I take it. Skip, I mean, the guy's back-to-back MVP. Had Joel Embiid not had a historic month, the last month of the season, he'd have been a 3-time MVP, which only 3 other men had ever done. Russell, Chamberlain, and Bird. Bird the last to do it 84 through 86. Skip, he's sensational. You asked Nikola, we need somewhere between 26 and 30 points a night. Got you, coach. Hey, we need somewhere between 10 and 15 rebounds a night. I got that, coach. Hey, we also need you to run this offense through. We're going to run the offense through you. So you're going to have to give us 8, 9, 10, sometimes 12, 14 assists. Coach, you know I got you. Skip, I don't see no stat pad. Because Skip ain't like he can out-hustle anybody to the ball to get rebounds. He can't. Skip, he's the real deal. I grit it, you know, when sometimes Skip,
hold on to your seat.
I believe I can make a compelling case. If I thought Joel Embiid, let's just say Joel Embiid is my guy. I believe I can make a compelling case for Joel Embiid without poo-pooing on Nikola Jokic. That's what I believe I can do. I'm not going to say, oh, he's the worst. He's the worst 2-time MVP. He's this, he's that. No, just say the way Joel Embiid's been playing. Look at his PER. Look at his field goal percentage. Look at what he does on the other end of the court, which is magnified more times than what Jokic can do on the other end of the court. That's the argument. But to say that, he's stat padding, they need everything that he gives them on a nightly basis. Skip, remember now, he one of those MVPs. Hold on. He won 2 of those MVPs without Jamal Murray. Remember, he missed all of last year.
He did.
And the year before, he tore the knee.
Playoffs.
Yeah. He tore the knee up, and as soon as they got him, and he won the MVP. And you think he a fluke? There's nothing fluky about this young man, Skip. He is legit. And he gonna actually, there's a chance he might replace Bird as the greatest player that complexion.
Okay.
So you know what I think of Larry Bird.
You loved him. He was your favorite player when you were growing up.
He was.
Never my favorite, but he grew on me. I was a Magic guy, and I remain a Magic guy. But I'm with Jen on this. I do love listening to Michael Malone on his soapbox rants. I just don't agree with the